Welcome, my brave listeners, to Terror Tales, where we journey into the darkest corners of our world, uncovering the most chilling and terrifying stories ever told. Tonight, we will delve into 3 stories so disturbing they might just make you question what is real. Prepare yourself, for the shadows are waiting, and they are hungry. On the outskirts of Buenos Aires, Argentina, lies a place where the living dare not linger after dusk, La Recoleta Cemetery. Famous for its grandiose tombs and majestic architecture, it is a peaceful resting place by day. But when night falls, it becomes a labyrinth of shadows, where even the bravest souls hesitate to wander. It was a stormy night in 2007 when Elian Voss, a European tourist traveling through South America, stumbled upon this eerie sanctuary of the dead. The rain came down in torrents, the kind of rain that drenches you to the bone in mere seconds, as Elian sought refuge beneath the towering iron gates of the cemetery. As he entered, the heavy scent of wet stone and damp earth filled the air, mixing with the faint smell of the flowers left at the graves. But it wasn't just the weather that unnerved Elian. In the distance, amidst the gravestones, he noticed something unusual: figures of children. They appeared to be playing, running between the tombs and climbing on the ancient mausoleums. Their laughter rang out through the mist, high-pitched and echoing unnaturally in the night. Elian's curiosity took hold, and despite the eerie sensation crawling up his spine, he ventured closer. As he stepped deeper into the cemetery, the air grew thick with fog. The laughter grew louder, but more distant, pulling him further in. Soon the figures of the children were nowhere to be seen, but something far worse awaited him. As Elian turned a corner, he saw them, the children now standing eerily still at the edge of an ancient, decaying mausoleum. Their faces were pale, their eyes black voids. No longer playful, they were now fixed in haunting silence. Before he could retreat, the ground beneath his feet gave way. He stumbled forward into the tomb, and the temperature plummeted. A chilling gust swept through the cemetery as the children, no longer children but twisted ghostly figures, lunged at him. Their cold, skeletal hands tore into his flesh, dragging him toward the open tomb, their faces grinning with grotesque satisfaction. Elian's screams echoed through the cemetery, swallowed by the thick fog. His body was never found. The only trace left behind was his broken camera, with a single photo, just a blur of darkness and the faint outline of those twisted children staring back, frozen in time, as if to say, "You shouldn't have come here." La Recoleta Cemetery remains a place where the dead still play, and their game is far more sinister than any living soul could ever imagine. Next, we venture to the crumbling walls of Beechworth Asylum in rural Victoria, Australia. The asylum opened in 1867, a place designed to house the insane, but those who lived and died within its walls were often treated with cruelty, subjected to horrors that left a lasting scar on the land. Many say the building itself is cursed, but one man, Jasper Kane, would soon learn the truth in a way that would haunt him for the rest of his days. It was a cold winter's day in 2003 when Jasper, a handyman with little belief in the supernatural, was called to repair a crumbling wall in one of the asylum's oldest wings. The thick stone walls had withstood decades of neglect, but cracks were starting to show. Jasper, a man with steady hands and nerves of steel, arrived early, ready to fix the damage and be gone before nightfall. But as the hours passed, something felt off. The air grew heavier. The building seemed to groan under the weight of its age. A strange chill settled over the halls, and the shadows deepened. Jasper's tools clanged against the old rusted nails, but the sound echoed unnervingly long. He finished the job and was eager to leave, but when he tried to open the door to the outside, it wouldn't budge. He tried another. Nothing. Every exit had inexplicably locked itself. Panic began to rise as Jasper's flashlight flickered. The building's oppressive silence was broken only by his hurried breathing. As the day faded and the sun slipped away, darkness descended like a shroud. The temperature dropped drastically, and a low, disturbing moan seemed to come from the very walls themselves. And then the whispers began, soft at first, like distant voices calling out from the void. But as they grew louder, they became clear. They were the voices of patients, lost souls tortured in the asylum's many dark corners. They were hungry, and they weren't just spirits, they were vengeful ghosts, seeking retribution for the pain they had suffered during their lives. Jasper's blood ran cold. The sound of footsteps followed him down the hall, but no one was there. The whispers turned into mocking laughter, and Jasper realized too late that the ghosts of the asylum weren't just trapped. They wanted to drag him down to the hell they had known in life. With terror gripping his heart, Jasper ran, but the asylum's twisted corridors seemed to stretch on forever, trapping him in a maze of madness. He never found an escape. By morning, when rescue workers arrived, there was no sign of Jasper. His only belongings were his tools left in the room where he had last worked. But those who have visited since swear they can hear his voice, faintly crying out for help, or perhaps begging for mercy. Our final tale brings us to the sun-drenched island of Barbados, a place of beauty and serenity. But deep in the earth, beneath the Caribbean soil, lies a terrifying legend, the Chase Vault, a cemetery known for the mystery of the moving coffins, a place that has intrigued and horrified those who know its tale. In the early 19th century, the Chase family sealed their loved ones in lead coffins. But every time the vault was opened for another burial, the coffins inside were found to have shifted position, moving on their own despite being sealed tight. It was a mystery that captivated both the living and the dead. In 1812, Alistair Drake, a local priest and friend to the Chase family, was called to perform a burial at the vault. As he entered the tomb, he could feel the oppressive weight of the place. The air was thick, like the very walls held the weight of countless souls. Upon opening the heavy stone door, Alistair was met with a chilling sight. All the lead coffins had shifted position again, as though moved by invisible hands. This wasn't just a coincidence, he thought. There was something unnatural about the place. 4 years later, in 1816, Celia and Edmund Chase, along with their daughter Evelyn, decided to visit the vault themselves. Though they had heard rumours, they did not believe in the supernatural. They arrived on a hot, humid evening, the air thick with salt, and the faint sound of the ocean in the distance. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the crumbling cemetery. As they approached the vault, a strange calm settled over them. No birds sang, no breeze stirred, the world was silent. When they opened the stone door, the stench of decay hit them like a wall. But worse still was the sight inside. The coffins had moved once again, but this time the tomb was no longer empty. The corpses inside began to stir slowly, agonizingly, as though disturbed from a long slumber. Before they could flee, the spirits of the dead rose from their graves. The restless souls of the Chase family's ancestors, twisted and decayed by years of torment, clawed their way out of the earth, their eyes filled with hunger. Their mouths gaped open, seeking only flesh and bone. Celia, Edmund and Evelyn were dragged into the dark abyss, their screams swallowed by the earth. The vault was sealed once again, but those who dare visit swear they can still hear their desperate cries as the dead rise again, eternally hungry. Three places, three stories: La Recoleta Cemetery, Beechworth Asylum and the Chase Vault. Places where the dead never truly rest, where their rage and hunger echo across the veil between life and death. Tonight we have glimpsed the darkness that lies just beyond the living world. So until we meet again, remember, some legends never die. They only wait for the right moment to return. Thank you for listening to Terror Tales. If you dare, subscribe and never miss another tale of terror. Thank you for watching.